Good morning. Good morning. If nobody ever told you this, I'm going to tell you. The wrong friendship or the wrong relationship can set you back 5 or 10 years and have you stuck. They could be an anchor in your life. You got to be mindful of who you partner up with as your partner, who you say is one of your friends, because let me tell you something. I'm witnessing people that I know that's in their 40s just recovering from relationships, from friendships, from people that they had around them that was anchors, that would not let them breathe, that would not let them go to the next level. Because you'll be sitting there, like I told y'all before, a lot of y'all don't even dig. A lot of y'all are sleeping with the enemy. A lot of y'all are around people, right? Y'all sleeping with the enemy. Your partner don't want to see you grow. I'm talking about every time they get a chance, they cut your wings. Every time you want to do something to the next level or add value to yourself or be better, you know what they do? They get right in your way. What? And you try to say to yourself, "Dad, this person love me." No. Who you want to love you, that don't mean they want to love you. Who you want to care for you, that don't mean they want to care for you. Who you want to see you win, that don't mean they want to see you win, because they ain't never see they win. They ain't never love themselves. They ain't never care for this. So you got to stop putting all this pressure on other people, and you got to start realizing that the wrong relationship can set you back 5, 10 years. The wrong friendship can set you back 5, 10 years. And guess what else it could do? It could also give all the ingredients that have you mentally abandoning your dreams. Your dreams will fade away because you wasted all this time on recovery. Get out there and live, and it's just like that.
Howdy, vibe. This video feels like it's taken eons to make, and I also fully understand that, but there is a reason why I took so much time in order to make it, because I know it would be one of those videos where I'm talking for at least 15 minutes, and I also wanted to make sure that I took my own advice and rested and took time to relax and rejuvenate before I preach something that I haven't been practicing. So this video is titled How to Schedule an Always Time for Tea. And before I actually start with the lesson in this video, I have to tell you a story that actually relates to the title. When I was in India for a year, and I was in Tamil Nadu, and I was near Uti. And when I was there, I was teaching at a school, and I befriended just one of the most incredible people that came into my life, who I still talk to till this day on WhatsApp, by the way, someone by the name of Krishnamurti. And Krishnamurti and I went to a wedding, and the wedding, as with any Indian wedding, took like forever. It took a very, very long time. And by the time we were planning to head home, there were only like a few buses left that evening. And I remember trying to make it home because we had to take the bus, and the bus trip was at least like maybe 4 or 5 hours to head back home. And I wanted to be home before 1 or 2 a.m. That clearly didn't happen. So we're trying to catch one of the last buses for that evening, and we're running. And then Krishnamurti stops out of nowhere. He's like, "No, Kibbs, let's not run." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he's like, "No, let's get some chai." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he was just like, "Yeah, we're just gonna get some chai." So we sat down and we drank chai, and we missed that bus. And I think we ended up catching, like, if not the final bus that evening to head back home, one of the final buses to head back home. And I ended up arriving home that evening at least, I think it was 4 or 5 a.m. Still woke up and went to school the next day to teach. But that experience for me not just inspired this title, but also was a huge reminder that there's always time for chai. There's nothing that big happening in this world where I can't make some time to relax, rejuvenate, refresh myself. Just as one has to charge their phone, we should also take the time to charge our bodies as well. I say that to say this, that my personality type by default, like, I'm very scheduled and compartmentalized, and I'm very task oriented and solution oriented as well. And I'll give you a very good example of that. A story I'm not necessarily proud of. I'm so happy that, you know, this happened with a close friend of mine who understands me and who's very forgiving. Um, but it is still one of my favorite stories to tell. So I think I had a meeting scheduled, something for the symposium. The school symposium, when I did that in Berlin, was like a philosophical discussion where we sat down and I hosted it, and people would sit down and discuss different ideas and exchange ideas with people that disagreed with them. It was a really, really cool event. Long story super short, I had a meeting with one of the, I would either host it at a bar or at a cafe, one of the bars or cafes where I was hosting the symposium event. And my friend ended up coming to see me, and she had just gone through a breakup. And I actually had a meeting to go to. So I remember like telling her like, and she was really sad because she was with that person for quite a while. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I can see how insensitive I was when I take a step back. But I was just like, is it possible that you can like give me the abridged version? Like, what's the summary of this? And I can just offer you a solution and we can like wrap this up in like under 2 minutes. I could probably give you 3 minutes tops. And I remember just the the look on her face and just how shocked she was. And I mean, I still made the meeting on time, but I think she just kind of grew silent. I thought that she would just want to talk about it later. Clearly that wasn't the case. She was really quite bothered with that response. I say all that to say that there needs to be, and I say that as a reminder to myself, that I'm always trying to find the balance between what it means to be very, very focused and diligent, and to like be very solution oriented, task oriented, and to make sure that I live life with no regrets, because I'm 34 years old now and I'm extremely happy with the life I've lived. I don't have anything where I look back on where I'm like, I wish I had done that. But on the other end, where I can be so insensitive and I don't take the time to relax, I don't take the time to be sensitive, understand other people, because if it doesn't fit in my schedule, I'll rarely, you know, break out of my routine to consider it. So, along with the song that you hear on the background of this this message I'm delivering, that song is "Sway" by Casey Musgraves. Amazing song, by the way. I've actually created what I'm hoping would be a great reminder for you, my students, to balance out like what it means to be very structured and disciplined and task oriented, but also know how to take a step back and relax. So I'll talk about what I'm really good at. And actually the way that you can remember this is by remembering the word sway. S standing for saying no, W standing for write it down, A standing for always time for chai, and Y standing for yesterday is gone. I hope that's a helpful reminder. I'll first talk about S and W, which I'm really good at. How is it that I can be so diligent and so focused and so task oriented? Is because I say no to a lot of things. Like, I'm invited to a lot of different events, maybe parties, birthday parties, hangout, spontaneous meetups and hangouts with friends, and I say no to a lot of them. I simply just don't have the time. If it doesn't fit in my schedule, then most of my friends know that I just won't be able to do it, unfortunately. But because I say no to things that I don't have the time for, or things that just don't fit into my schedule, I get to say yes to a lot of things that I'm interested in. And I get to say yes to a lot of things that I would say are more aligned with my goals and my dreams and the kind of person that I'm crafting myself to become. And in order to understand what my goals and dreams are, and understanding who I want to be and how I want to envision myself at the end of my life, I write these things down, and I'm very diligent about that. So just as when I want to schedule something with somebody, I'll write it down immediately and I'll put them in my calendar so that way I can lock them in. I write down what I want my goals to be for the next month, for the next 2-3 months, for the next year, for the next 2-3 years, because I've spoken with a lot of my friends and mentors are much older than I am, and they've been really great in guiding me in various ways, both in my relationships and in my professional life. And one of the regrets I've heard a few of them have had is that they look back and say that, I had really written down this dream, I had this goal, and I didn't take advantage of it. I didn't act on it because I was so afraid of what people would think, what people would say, losing somebody, X, Y, and Z. And so the reason why I'm so diligent with writing down what my goals and my dreams are is because I not only know what I'm saying yes to, but also I can hold myself accountable, and I can keep being disciplined because I have a very specific direction of knowing where I'm actually going. So those are the first two: saying no, and also writing down what is important to you so you know how to direct yourself. Now, the second half is how to detach from all of that and not burn out, which is something I'm constantly practicing. So I actually have to give shout outs to two of my closest friends who are really good at that. The first one is Barum, who you saw at the preview video I did way back. That's a video where he goes, "You're a liar, we have you on camera lying." That's from a podcast we did years back. But Barum would always say, "Let the day decide." And every now and then I'll take a weekend off, or I will take a day off, like right after work, where I'm like, I'm just gonna let the day decide. I'm not gonna schedule anything. Whatever falls into my life and whatever falls into my lap is just what's going to happen that day. And that gives me so much freedom. And it coincides with the always time for chai. Because I remember Barum and I would just sit down and just have chai and do nothing for that weekend. Sit down, have some good chai, and talk about like absolutely nothing. And that's so necessary, because as important as I think it is to have these meaningful moments in your life, you need to incorporate these meaningless moments in your life as well, because there's always going to be the next mountain to climb. What's that Miley Cyrus song? There's always going to be another mountain. That's true, and I think you should climb it, because that's the fun in life, is to try to find out how far you can push yourself. But on the other end, once you hit that mountain, sit down and just remember that there's always time for chai. Just like Christian Mutli told me, there's always time for chai. Relax, we've enjoyed something, let's take a step back and just enjoy this experience. Let's revel in the fact that we've accomplished something that was very meaningful to us. The other friend who I have to give a huge shout out to is my friend Margaret from college. And Margaret and I have been tight since like bachelor's degree, Holy Cross. And hanging out with Margaret, and especially Margaret's kids, I'm reminded of the fact that, like, though what I do as far as like chasing my financial goals and my career goals and building this organization to send kids abroad, though all of that is significant, what's actually even more significant and what's even more memorable is like going to the jumping park with the kids and like doing backflips and running around in the park and doing nothing, or like sitting down and watching a Disney movie, or like going for a I was there for Easter and like just looking for eggs. Those meaningless moments, and watching the kids just enjoy these meaningless moments, and I forget how significant they are, because those are actually what crafts the memories. So hanging out with Margaret just reminds me that it's not that serious. It ain't that deep, bro. It's not that serious. And I just want to wrap it up with, so just to, as a teacher, I always have to, remind you of the lesson. S is for saying no. W is for writing it down. A is for always time for chai. And Y is for yesterday is gone. That's what makes the word sway. Again, Casey Musgrave's song in the background as a reminder. Yesterday is gone. I think, to go back to Margaret and Barham, I think when I sit with them and enjoy these meaningless moments, I am able to be less hard on myself for all the things that I feel like I haven't yet accomplished. Yesterday is gone. What's actually most important now is just racing a 4 and 5-year-old in the park and just running around in circles. Yesterday is gone. Let's sit down and just enjoy a Disney film. Yesterday is gone. It's not going to happen again. So why don't we just sit back and enjoy crumble cookies and just enjoy tea for the evening and watch a Disney movie? There's something extremely meaningful and beautiful about that. And I constantly have to remind myself of that, because as I strive to be the best person who I can be, and I will always, always tell you students to always strive and to be the best person you can be. Once you failed, once the day is over, once you've accomplished everything you could for that day, yesterday is gone. Sit down, make some chai, and just enjoy the moment for what it is. You'll notice at the very first part of, and this is also how I wanted to craft some kind of balance in this video. The first part of this video, I use Wallow, who tells you the importance of crafting a circle, especially one that is aligned with your goals and your dreams. I will always be a huge advocate for that. Again, freedom is responsibility. You are responsible for the circle that you craft. The video that ends this is a video I found recently that really, really impacted me, from a channel called Affirmations for Black Men. And there's a woman there, and she talks about the effects of destination addiction. She specifically talks about it in the context of Black men. So that, of course, resonated with me as a Haitian. Let me make sure you guys could see the shirt. Oh, thank you very much, Swinks, for getting me the shirt. Greatly appreciate it. I think very often that definitely applies to me, because I definitely suffer from destination addiction. I saw a tattoo recently, which was so beautiful. And I really want to make sure I mention in this video that says self-love is the best love. And I 100% agree with that. I would also just take it a step further and also say self-care is the best care as well. So like making sure that you implement time to take care of yourself is significant. So I'm hoping that video at the end of it really inspires you, and I think it applies to anyone of every race. It impacted me personally as a Black man, and I think her entire page is great. One final thing I'm going to say, sometimes you actually have to force self-care and self-love. And by that I mean, I know that I can always make an excuse to not relax or take care of myself because I can be so attached to my schedule. So I've actually forced myself to take 5 days off. I've purchased a space with the doggy and I. It's a, if you look on Facebook, it's called Postcard Cabins. I purchased 5 days, rented out that space for the doggy and I. I actually can't get the money refunded. That's what I mean by like I forced it. And I'll just be there for 5 days. Excuse me. I'll be there for 5 days, relaxing, hiking, wrestling bears, all of that, because I think that's just absolutely necessary, especially because I feel like sometimes I just push myself too hard. That is the video. That's the video I owed you. I'm really happy I was able to finally actually do it. And as I told you, this video would be definitely more than 15 minutes. But I got to say everything I needed to say, and that I think is most significant. And I'll be off social media. I have a few more videos to drop, and then I'll be off social media for a bit because I just need the time. I just need the time away. So that's it. Anything else, Kibbs? No, that's it. Vibe.
A lot of Black men, if not most Black men that I personally know, deal with destination addiction. And I know Black men from all different levels of their journey, all different ages, and a lot say the same thing. When they reach that destination that they think will make them happy, it ends up being a sad moment because they realize how much time went by and they didn't allow themselves to be happy throughout the duration of the journey of getting to the destination. And if you really think about it, like each destination or moment of success might last a day, 2 days, a week. Like it's like getting a new car, you know, but those 5 years or 10 years it took to get to that destination are a lot more valuable than that 1 week or that 1 day. And it's often realized when Black men are on top of one mountain, they create another mountain or create another level. So it's this constant chasing for this constant carrot that is just seems to never be enough. And so a lot of my affirmations were based in enjoying the journey, accepting who you are today, accepting what you have today, and allowing yourself to enjoy your life because Black man, you are human. You deserve to enjoy this experience, even if cards are down or if relationships are down or if money is down. If you can be a man who is able to keep a positive mindset despite your circumstances, nothing is going to be able to shake you. And that's why receiving content, you know, I know sometimes I may get a little bit repetitive, but repetition is really, really important because the world is repeating to you in so many different ways the negative of that. So that is my intention for this past week. Let me know what you think about last week's message and let me know if you want me to expand more. Okay, bye.